I think you're not audible.
What's the ma'am you are saying is not audible.
Yeah,
Yashoda, you're not audible, Yashoda. You're not audible to
you're
anybody.
not audible. Thank you. Thank you. Can we have the slides? Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm very, very happy to be with all of you this evening. Thank you, Vidya and team, for giving me this opportunity. Um, so today I just want to talk about this topic, which is actually very close to my heart. I'm also into fitness, and I think health, nutrition, fitness are the key elements to what we represent. Can I have the slides, please, on the dashboard? Yeah. So the topic of discussion today is lifetime health strategies for desk-based professionals, right? So I think this is the need of the hour because we're seeing more and more of chronic diseases. Next slide, please, which are climbing steadily. Right now, the next slide, please. Right now, the way the healthcare system is functioning is that the majority of the patients, 80% of healthcare, is focusing actually on curing health problems, treatment modalities, damage control. All that is the main thing that's happening in the healthcare industry. But preventative healthcare is only 20% right now. Now, this is what we are trying to reverse, right? There are doctors, the medical fraternity is working towards preventing this ratio. So lots of metabolic summits and conferences are being held where longevity plans are being made, biohacking, metabolic biohacking plans are being made, all of that to reverse this ratio and make preventative healthcare 80% and curing health issues 20%. I think that's the futuristic goal. And I think if we all work, then we can achieve that. Now, what are the hidden costs of a desk job? I'm sure all of you are in this kind of a profession. I think the slides are just running away. I think let's stick to the hidden cost of a desk job. Okay. So we all of you are sitting for 8 to 10 hours almost. Imagine what that will do to your body over a 20-year period, right? Now, as you all know, sitting is the new smoking. All right. It is as hazardous as smoking, right? So what does that 8 to 10 hours of sitting, what does it do to our body? It causes, what are the metabolic implications? Next slide, please. Thank for the audience. Yeah, the metabolic implications are in the sense insulin in the body. We need insulin to digest the glucose. So whatever carbs we eat is converted into glucose and it gets into the system. So the insulin is the one that mops up this glucose and prevents diabetes, etc. Now, when you have this kind of obesity and chronic sitting, etc., we develop insulin resistance. Means the sensitivity of the insulin comes down by nearly 40%. So it does not do its job well. Therefore, the risk of type 2 diabetes increases nearly 100%. Okay. So that is one issue. Then what are the implications on the heart? The risk of the heart disease is increased as well by nearly 80%, 18% by this chronic sitting. Right? What happens is also poor circulation in the system. What does that do to all the blood vessels when you don't move and when you're stagnant? Imagine all the pipes in your body. We're all like plumbing. Actually, the whole body is a good plumbing system. We have lots of arteries and veins, which are all like pipes. And if the blood kind of stagnates and we don't move, then there is poor circulation and that causes deep vein thrombosis. That means there's clots can develop in the legs, and that is quite dangerous because some of it can break and block the heart and cause heart diseases, or it can break and lodge in the brain and cause stroke. There are so many problems that can happen because of DVT, which is why in aeroplanes, if you notice, the air hostesses and all in some planes, they request you to kind of stand up and go to the toilet, come back, stand up and walk on the aisle for a little while, so your blood is not stagnant and it's not pooling in your legs, which causes DVTs. Okay. So what happens to the bone and muscles when we sit all the time? Musculoskeletal system. So 80% of the desk workers, they get neck pain, what we call tech necks, because you're constantly peering there and you forget to move your neck, and that causes all sorts of cervical spine issues, and that's why we say you need to gently move the neck back and forth, sideways, this way, so that there is some kind of movement and all your cervical joint is kept constantly lubricated and it's not fixed and causing problems in the joints there. So all of this, we have to be conscious. First, we have to have the knowledge. Then we have to put that into practice. Okay, so now we are in the knowledge phase where we're trying to understand what happens, what are all the implications. Everyone says don't sit, etc. But what are the direct implications? I think once we understand that, then we will implement it more effectively. Then back pain as well, chronically sitting, slouching, bad positioning causes chronic lower back pain. And then over a period, every day doing that for 6 to 8 hours or 10 hours or whatever length of time, it causes chronic lower back pain. desk job that you're at, and over a period of 20 years, it has an impact. And then in terms of the mental health, what happens? There's always stress, in desk jobs. People are constantly staring at screens. Something goes wrong. Your cortisol goes up. Your cortisol means is a steroid, which is produced by the body. And that typically goes up when you're stressed. And when your cortisol goes up, then again, that leads to obesity and overweight, etc. Then poor sleep as a result of constant screen staring. There's a burnout that happens over a period of time, and anxiety happens as a result of poor sleep. So it's a cascade of events. One leads to another. So we have to take action now. Ocular, what happens to the eyes? The digital eye strain affects more than 70% of screen users. We're going to delve into all these aspects slowly in the next few slides. So just exercising 1 hour a day does not undo the 8 hours of continuous sitting. So before, people thought, okay, I've done my work for the day, I've gone for fitness, I'm done. In a whole day, I can be like a couch potato. That doesn't work. I think nowadays the teaching is that you need to distribute that. Don't even have to do that 1 hour. You can do 20 minutes in the morning and move more throughout the day. Allocate 10 minutes here and there, the breaks, which we'll discuss in the next few slides. Next slide, please. So the framework, the 4 pillars of lifetime health. Okay, we'll see 4-legged table. So even one leg is weak, the whole table falls. So we need to understand the pillars of health, and we have to act. So move, move, move. That is the message I want to convey in this. The take-home message is to keep moving. Every few minutes, if you're be friendly with people. Somebody drops a pen, go pick it up for them. Someone calls you, go walk here, there, everywhere. Keep moving. Don't sit still. That causes innumerable problems for your body. And protecting the spine, eyes, and heart. We'll discuss that in future. Then in the next few slides, the fuel. That is another very, very important aspect. Nutrition. That is the key. Apart from exercise and movement, nutrition is a key aspect for disease prevention and recovering from all the stress in the form of sleep and stress relief. Okay, so keep a goal. You try to be 1% better each week, because if you try to do it all, it doesn't work. So very gradual changes you can make, which we'll discuss in the course of the talk. So if you make 1% change every week, imagine over a period of 30 years, there'll be a massive change in your lifestyle and the way you've lived, and that will cause a better you in the future. So we discussed, next slide, move is the antidote to sitting, is to move. Sitting, we said, is the new smoking. It's as bad as smoking. That is the new smoking. So motion is lotion. So you keep moving, lubricating all the joints in your body. All the blood vessels are all kept well. The brain cells work better. So what are the daily non-negotiables? Okay, when we said movement, we are only talking about move first. Then we'll go to nutrition and other aspects. Micro breaks we have to take, like stand, walk about 2 minutes every 45 minutes, or at least every hour. Just get up from your table, walk, stand. Keep an alarm on your phone. Now, all of you have good gadgets and phones, which are all smartphones, and you can set your reminder, because you may forget in getting absorbed in your daily work that you have to get up and it's time to. So every 45 minutes to an hour, keep a 2-minute break, micro break, stand, walk. Now in the West, if you see most of these MNCs have desks, they actually stand and work even. Sometimes they sit, and then sometimes they stand and work. So those things. And then they all do, they have lots of systems incorporated, fitness regimes incorporated. They're supposed to do planks once a day or twice a day. Then suddenly the team leader will come and say, let's do squats. So all that is incorporated as part of it also relieves the monotony of that chronic sitting job. If you just get up, move, do stuff and come back, your brain is more agile and you perform much better in the next few hours. right? So take the staircases. This is the other thing. I also still do it at my age. I am 62. I still climb 5 stairs to go for each ward round. I do not take the lift. I mean, even if I've not worked out in the morning, this is a simple thing that we can all do. Always, when you take stairs, walk. Take the stairs. Don't go to the lift. Let the lift be there for patients or for people who are disabled. But we need to take the stairs. Don't take the lift. Then, yeah, stand when you're taking calls. For example, stand and keep walking, and while you're brainstorming in the calls, that is a nice way to finish the call and your walk, right? So, what are the non negotiables? Again, we said daily non negotiables were all this in your daily living at your workplace, place, wherever you are, at college, at office, etc. Non negotiables are 150-minute cardio in the week. So that literally we mean about 45 minutes, even 5 days a week is enough. You can do a brisk walk or do aerobics, dance, cycling, swimming, any cardio activity. That, like I said earlier, it doesn't have to all be concentrated. If you don't have that 1 hour, do 20 minutes of any of these. And then the rest of the day you can split the cardio. Like you can do a little more, 15 minutes in the evening, for example, when you get home, or keep walking in your corridor, in wherever you are at your workplace. But the other thing that's very, very important is strength training. So in fitness, there are four pillars, I said. One is cardio, which is important for your heart and all of that. The second is strength training, because muscles and bones, they are the ones that keep slowly atrophying as you grow older. You lose muscle mass and you lose bone mass as you attain menopause, especially the women folk. So we need to focus, because the muscle is actually one of the biggest organs, is as important as the heart. And if it gets wasted, then with each passing year, then we are struggling. So apart from nutrition, which helps the muscles stay strong, the most important thing is strength training. Allocate 2 days a week for strength training. Cardio, you even give 15 minutes, and then rest of the day you're doing cardio is okay. But strength training is a must, 2 days a week, especially for men and women over 35, 40. Very, very important. Even the youngsters, it's good to keep your muscles in order. So 30 minutes of strength training. You can use your own body weight and do strength training. We can use weights, dumbbells, resistant bands, or you can go to the gym and use all the equipment there for resistant trainings. So that protects both the muscle and the bones, because lots of women, if you know, towards your menopause, 45 and above, your bone mass goes, and osteoporosis is a killer disease, actually. It's disabling, it's debilitating. So prevention is better than cure. So work at it. These are all small tips, but they go a long way in keeping your muscles and bone functioning well as you grow older. Mobility. Then the third I told you was the balance. As you grow older, that's another thing that we need to work on. Stand with one leg, and there are lots of balance based exercises. Nowadays, you don't even have to go to YouTube. Gym. All of you can just open your YouTube. There are dime a dozen. You just have to key in strength training, and you'll get so many on your screen. So just take that time and effort to do that, because it's actually free even. And even balance exercises, standing on one leg, and doing the tree pose and all of that, again helps your body align itself and prevents falls. Falls are the number one killers as you grow older. So that can actually cause you to be bedridden and cause atrophy of muscles and bones and other issues as well. So that, and the last thing is stretches. Make sure you stretch well every day. If you're feeling stiff, few stretch exercises. I'm sure you have lots of people who are in the fitness industry amongst you. Just get help and get simple stretch exercises for your legs and hands and necks, muscles and back. Do that every day, so at least thrice a week. right? So all this prevents obesity. Obesity causes what we call metabolic syndrome nowadays. Metabolic syndrome is the new kid on the block. And metabolic syndrome has a lot of offshoots, such as diabetes, hypertension, that is BP, heart disease, stroke. Then it causes cancers even. If you're fat, you're more prone to cancers. Then all the aches and back pain, and then mood disorders, mental health is affected. So the offshoots of this metabolic syndrome are very, very high, which is why we are focusing on that today. Next slide, please. So the protecting the spine, desk job, as we said, typical, we have to look at the ergonomics. Okay, ergonomics, very, very important. Invest in good chairs. Invest in good. I mean, typically the monitor should be top one third at eye level. Okay, so we're not looking that way, this way, and your neck is not getting affected. And the tech neck, please make sure you don't develop the tech neck. And make sure the monitor is 52 centimeters away from your eye level. And like I said, do those chin tucks and, gentle exercises to keep your neck mobile. There are simple things that you can do, constantly, and to keep your neck. Similarly, shoulder blades squeezes, rolling your shoulder to the front, rolling your shoulder to the back. As you're working, just incorporate these small things into your daily regime. Make it a practice. Make that habit. So once it's become a habit, you'll automatically find that you're doing these things. Okay, let anybody laugh. It doesn't matter, but you need to keep your joints healthy. And the lumbar support, back, most of us slouch and sit down. Most people, youngsters these days, are getting disc issues, chronic back pain. And we need proper sit straight, always, or keep any little back pillow or a lumbar support, because the curvature, the lumbar area is like that. Lumbar means the lower back. So support your lower back with a pillow or a support so that you are almost always sitting erect like that, instead of slouching like this all the time. The toe is on the back and the disc starts bulging, and people are prone to disc collapses, etc. So very, very important for lumbar support. And the hips also should be at that 90-degree thing. Basically, remember the 90-degree rule. Your elbows should be like at 90 degrees to your table, and close to your body. Then your hips at 90, and your feet also should be at 90 degrees to your leg. And make sure your feet are not hanging. Take a little bench and keep it under your feet. If you feel your feet are not touching the ground and they are not at 90-degree angle, then make sure you keep a tiny little bench or something so that it's stable and it's not like dangling. Okay, so these are all small things. Please go through this and make sure tomorrow you have a checklist and see if you're doing all of this. And if you practice every day, it becomes a habit, and then it becomes you. And then stretches, like I said, ever so often, all these stretches will prevent disc problems, they prevent nerve issues, nerve pains, and headaches. Next slide, please. So we already talked about the eyes. Eyes, I think, in people who are in the tech industry or the screen, who are constantly watching the screen. Now, even children, I'm very worried because I'm a pediatrician. All their homework is on the laptop, and whatever they do, they have to go to the screen. So that is a very sad state of affairs, because we had books and pencils and pens that we had to deal with, but they have to deal with the monitors all the time at their age. So that, which means all the more reason that we have to be careful with our children of tomorrow. So the 20-20-20 rule. So every 20 minutes, look 20 feet away for 20 seconds. Count 20. Look away. This is a simple thing, right? It's very easy, but it goes a long way in helping your eyes, right? And try to blink. The blink mechanism is mainly to lubricate the eyes, to make the tears nicely lubricate the eyes. So blink, and when you're staring at the screen, what's happening? You're not blinking and the eyes are becoming dry. And dryness of the cornea causes lot of eye issues later on, not just glasses, but that can affect the inside of the eye, etc. If your eyes are getting really dry, even keep some refresh eye drops or Tears Plus eye drops next to your table, next to your monitor. But if you blink well and do this 20-20-20, that should not happen. But over that, if your eyes are getting dry, then you need to instill this eye drops to prevent severe drying of the eyes. Okay. And heart. I mean, we already said obesity is the main reason for heart diseases, one of the main reasons, apart from many others. So we have to prevent obesity. The other risk factors for heart diseases are diabetes. Again, that is reflected by nutrition we'll talk about. Then what are the other genetic? If there's a family member in the house who died of a heart attack, then you are more. So nowadays we have what's called a heart attack risk score. Means if they're obese, you better watch out, move, eat less. If you're diabetic, then take good control of the diabetes. That's another risk factor. The third one is hypertension, which is BP. Get that under control with good breathing exercises, with good yoga. Half the time, if you're on the borderline, those things will help your BP. Only if it is very high, you will need medication, etc. So heart health and genetic, of course, you cannot help. But if you have a genetic background, you have to be more vigilant. All the diseases in our body, if you know, it is genetic versus environment. As in, what I mean is, genetically, you can't do anything. It's in your genes, bad genes given, that you can't help. But what can you help? You can change the environment. That is, whatever you do, whatever practices you adapt, that can sometimes override the genetic disability that you have. Okay. So if your uh, environmental reasons are good, and if your environmental lifestyle is good, that can override your genetic issues. So work on that. So you can prevent cataracts and all the macular strain on the eye. You can prevent heart attacks and strokes by just keeping an eye on your heart. So ensure that all of you do your annual screening after the age of 30. People will say, why I'm healthy, why should I? But the number of things that we pick up on master health checks, you will be shocked. Because, and please do not be afraid. It's better to meet the problem early in its infant stage. Any issue, if you know about it early, you can actually prevent the progress of that ailment and you can deal with it in the early stages. But if you leave it and you say, I'll do it later, I'll do my screening later, etc., and you'll find anything, even cancer. Stage 1, if it's recognized, it's curable. Something that's curable, you've missed the boat by not doing those tests. And later you do it, when everything is advanced, then once you're in stage 3, stage 4, you cannot do anything. No best doctor in the world cannot help you. So any diseases like that, heart disease, brain disease, cancer, any liver disease, renal, kidney disease, anything picked up early on in the day can be salvaged, can be treated, can be brought back to normalcy with intervention. So it's good to do your annual screening, get yourself checked, get yourself your BP checked, your fasting sugar, your lipid profile. Lipid profile is all the fat and everything. What is the percentage? Your BMI, your waist circumference. Do all of that with your GP and get into the preventative healthcare mode. Do not wait for problems to happen and damage control mode. Next slide, please. So now we're coming to nutrition. Right, we spoke about fitness and movement and how that is important. The other equally important attribute to good fitness is the fuel, the nutrition. We are what we eat, right? We are what we eat. So you have to eat well to prevent diseases and stabilize your blood sugar, etc. So what are the traps that you guys have in the desk job diet traps? Mainly skipping meals. People, so have to give your particular finish your work on time or whatever, you have to submit those reports or documents, etc., you forget that you've eaten. Do not skip meals. That causes gastric acidity, causes gastric acid release and burning, heartburns, and that itself causes ulcers, etc. So even if you're eating something small, but just ensure that you're not fasting long hours during stressful periods, because that's when anyway your gastric acid is being released, and you do not want that to become worse. So what are the things? So what do we resort to? Some quick fix if you're hungry, right? Tea and biscuit. No, please do not touch maida. Maida is poison. All these sugar is poison. Extra salt is poison. All of that, salt just enough in your daily cooking. Try to avoid sugar. Try to use sugar only, no added sugar every day. No added sugar. Just you will be shocked once I loved sugar in my coffee, but then I made it a point for 1 month to have coffee without sugar, and I cannot have coffee with sugar anymore. I think everything is habit orientated. So we have to break the dirty habits that we formed over the years. Keep a sweet for occasions, for certain occasions. Let it be had like that, not on a daily basis. Then the other thing I find tech people doing is having late dinners. They get back home, again sit on the computer, work till late hours, have late dinners, which is not good. You have to eat 3 hours before you sleep. No food after that. For example, if you're going to hit the bed at 10, you should finish your meal by 7. Okay, so that you have to keep in mind. Your body has to digest the food before you sleep. Then avoid sugary snacks. I tell even parents of children, amazing now, the kids of today, there is an over availability of food and over availability of the wrong food. Everywhere, whatever you get in the markets is there out to kill you. So you have to protect yourself, because easy to get a bag of crisps, one packet of chips. Very easy to go get a box of biscuits, which are just maida. Very easy to go get things like that. Coke, Fanta. So I tell all the parents, do not give your children Coke, then cakes and pastries, cookies, chocolates. All 4 C's are forbidden. In my clinic, we have lots of boards where we discourage parents once in a while. It should be like a treat, once in a while for birthdays or for when they go out. It can be given, because a child is a child is a child. So we can. So even adults have to adopt this practice. Clean eating. That is the need of the hour. There is an over availability of all the wrong food in the market, and they're cheap, easily available. It's, by the way, if you sit and think, it's very difficult actually to get healthy food. You have to make an effort to make your food healthy. It's so easy to get rubbish in the market. All the junk, they have additives, they have preservatives. Why do you think cancer incidences are rising? 1 in 3 people will have cancer, 1 in 2.5 by 2030. That is the expected cancer rates. We are significantly going high because of all these things which we are doing to our own body. All these packaged stuffs have preservatives, chemicals. So try to go organic as much as you can, even with your children. Try to go organic, because the chemicals, no. Radiation. Everywhere there's radiation. Everywhere there's screen. Children are sleeping with phone next to their heads. That radiation emitting from that constantly bombarding your brains. People are sitting with AirPods. My heart cries out when I see that AirPods all the time. People are sleeping with it, and that AirPods is literally frying your brain. So radiation, preservatives, all of these, and I'm not surprised by the incidence of cancer and etc. that's on the rise. So we have to be conscious of all this. We have to be aware of all this. Be careful of what you put in your mouth. Label read everything. Wherever you're eating, see what is in it, and then open that packet before you eat it. And the plate method, I just wanted to have a word about the plate method. Before, it was, if you know Indian households, there'd be a lot of rice. And the thali itself, one small katori of vegetable, one small katori of dal, one small, but that's no more the plate concept. It's all reversed. One small katori of rice, large quantity of vegetables, large quantity of dal, large quantity of any other protein. People who are non-vegetarians, chicken, eggs, paneer, nuts, all that should be. And then one probiotic. Probiotic also is very, very important for our gut. And by the way, one word about gut health. Gut health actually determines everything else. The gut is connected to all the organs in the body. We have what's called microbiome, means bacteria which live in our guts. And that is actually the blueprint for diseases, by the way. So all these metabolic summits that are coming up, we're all trying to see what our microbiome is in the gut. They're doing a mapping of your gut microbiome, and then they're able to extrapolate that to what disease you're going to get. Isn't that fabulous? So we have to, the gut, if you want to have good bacteria in the gut, we have to eat probiotics in either natural forms or as probiotics in yogurt, fermented. See, those days they ate fermented rice, parents are them in the morning, put water. You can have less rice, ferment it overnight, have it. That's very good for your gut. Then things like buttermilk, low fat yogurt, all of that. And, even our fermented idlis, all of that is good for the gut because it helps the gut health. So ensure that, because the gut is connected to skin. If you have bad microbiome in your gut, you can get eczema, skin disorders. If you have bad microbiome in your gut, your brain is affected, the heart is affected, everything is affected. So gut health is of primary importance. So plate health, plate method, I told you, prime less of carbs, more of veggies and proteins, whatever proteins, and one probiotic like a buttermilk. That will be a perfect meal to have. And our Indian meal is actually very good. We have rice, dal, sambar, which has protein in it. We have puriyal. So just ensure that there's more dal in your sambar, less rice on your plate, and make the vegetables less oily, and have a buttermilk or low-fat yogurt. You are done. That's the best possible meal you can have. So it's not rocket science. We all have access to this kind of meal. So we should have that instead of reaching out. The next generation, Gen Z, I feel very sorry for them. They go for only the burger and the pizza or whatever else that's fully opposite of what we want them to have. So as parents, we have to educate our children, sit with them, explain all this to them in a way that they can understand, get their cooperation, and that'll be the way forward. Right? So one little hack is to have a bowl of salad or soup before you eat. So that kind of coats the stomach. And then when you have carbohydrates like rice, etc., it doesn't get absorbed into the system and your glucose spikes don't happen, right? So your glycemic control is there. So that's one hack. Or you have a protein before you eat the carbohydrate. Eat the carbohydrate last so that they all coat and prevent the direct absorption of the glucose, because carbohydrates breaks down into glucose and that gets into the bloodstream and causes havoc in the body if in abundance. The second thing you have to remember is the eating window. By the way, if we can at least try to maintain a 12-hour fasting or eating window, try to finish your dinner by 7 or 8. If you finish by 7, eat your breakfast only at 7. At least give 12 hours for the body to repair. Whole day we are eating and doing stuff, the body needs rest. Everything needs rest. Your liver needs rest, your intestines need rest, everything needs. So if they rested, they function better the next day. Right? So fasting is very good. And even if you can fast once a week, why do you think we had Ekadeshi and all of that before where people fasted? Such wonderful systems that were incorporated into the system. So 24 hours, just water fast is fabulous. It prevents, even now in the West, they're all adopting that for their heart patients and cancer patients and autoimmune patients, because that cleanses the system. It is detox. You detox by maintaining fast and just having water. So fasting, intermittent fasting, one day a week, a full fast. If you do all that, you clean up your system really well. So I think think about all that. Okay. And hydration, my, cannot emphasize more on hydration. All of us have watches, smartphones, smartwatches. Please put reminders. Please keep drinking 2.5 to 3 liters minimum per day. If you drink the water, imagine, I told you, we are body is only composed of pipes and it's literally a plumbing network. So imagine the sludging and everything that happens because of the rubbish we put into our mouth every day. So this water dilutes everything, right? And flushes the systems out, flushes your liver, flushes your kidneys, and all the toxins get released. So if you do not have enough water in the system, there's sludging. Everywhere there's blockages. And anything that blocks causes a disease. Block in the heart attack. Block in the brain, stroke. Block in the liver disease. So you have to ensure you drink plenty of water. And most of your water should be drunk in the day, before the evening, and then a little bit before you sleep. And please, like I said, avoid processed food, avoid trans fats, and sugars are poison. Definitely, because there are hidden sugars in whatever you eat that you cannot control, but no added sugar at all. More than 25 grams is not permissible. Similarly, keep your salt low. Once you adapt to low salt food, you will not go for high salt food. Salt is, again, excessive salt messes up the kidneys and people get kidney disease as a result of that. So aim to keep it less than 5 grams. Similarly, oil. Oil is not a good thing. Just keep 1 spoon of oil for the tempering. That also can cause, heart disease. So, okay. So, 1 second. Next slide, please. So we can have a Q&A after this. So the next important aspect after food is recovery, right? Recovery is related to sleep and stress. So everyone has to sleep a minimum of 7 to 9 hours if you can. I know that's a tall order, but as you can see, it equals to a best performance drug. Even children, I always say, they say, oh, we have to study, we cannot sleep, and we won't finish our portions. Nonsense. If you are studying longer than that amount, and if you're extending into, say, 12 o'clock in the night, from 10 to 12, what you're studying, you're only going to absorb 25% of what you're studying. Whereas if you get that proper rest and you wake up, say at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock and study, the mind just absorbs it like a sponge because it's had the rest, it's cleansed itself, it's detoxed itself. So it's receptive for information and knowledge. So sleep for all of us, adults and children, we have to sleep well. And the children constantly ask me, but we do sleep. Sleep hygiene is very, very important. You have to have a fixed sleep time and wake up time. They constantly ask me, but we have to study. Still, we're getting 7 hours. I sleep at 12, doctor, but I get up at 7 or 8 o'clock. I'm still getting my 7, 8 hours. No, that doesn't equal the sleeping at 10 p.m. You have to have a sleep. The reason why I'm saying you have to sleep at 10 and say wake up at 5 or 6 or sleep at 11 and because your sleep should sync with what's called circadian rhythm, right? We all have what's called a circadian rhythm. By that I mean the melatonin in the body gets produced when it becomes dark. So at about, say, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock onwards, your melatonin starts getting secreted in the body. And the melatonin has a lots of beneficial effects on the body. Melatonin is important for cancer prevention. It's important for autoimmune disorder prevention. It's important for heart disease prevention. So your melatonin, you need to get the best out of the melatonin. So if you sleep at 10, then you get your quota of melatonin. And your room has to be dark because if there is light falling, the melatonin gets affected. So keep the room dark, keep it cool, and sleep early. Then only you get your quota of melatonin for the day. All right. And no screen time for 60 minutes before bed. I mean, there is no point in me telling you sleep at 10, but you cannot sleep at 10 because your mind is overworked. If you have or 1 hour before bedtime should be your a time where you read or you listen to music or you slow down, completely unwind, so that your brain is ready slowly to get into a sleep mode. Do yoga nidra. There are so many hacks that you can use. But if you're going to constantly stimulate your mind with a screen and before and watching TV and watching all the nonsense and stock before sleeping, stocks and news, then you're most likely not likely to get sleep at the right time. And so melatonin, I told you the importance. Similarly, waking up. So these kids constantly ask me, oh, I sleep at 12, but I wake up at 8, doctor. So I'm getting my 8 hours of sleep. No, that isn't it. You need the serotonin starts coming from from sunrise. Right. So that's why we say get up early, go for a walk outside. You need the sun. That sets the tone for the day because you've got your melatonin, you're getting your serotonin. That's a fabulous situation for your brain. So get out, walk 10 minutes, you're getting your cardio. 15 minutes you have also is okay. Go for a brisk walk. Then you get your sun, your daylight. That is very, very important for the brain. So if you do these two things, this hack is very important. These are all called biohacks. You learn these tricks which help the body and the brain. And you didn't have time to walk for 1 hour, it's okay. After each meal, try to walk for 10 minutes. Again, that is another new trick that's been recently discovered to reduce the glycemic spikes that have to happen after the meal. After each meal, the blood glucose rushes into. So if you walk for 10 minutes after breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that's enough. And maybe a 10-minute walk in the morning. So that's more than enough for the day. You would have got your 7,000 to 9,000 steps, or if not, even it doesn't matter. So after each meal, try and walk, especially after your big meals like lunch and dinner, and that morning walk in the sunlight. Some sun has to enter your system. Right. And yeah, for people who cannot sleep, the other rule of thumb is no drinking coffee after 3 o'clock or 4 max, not beyond that. Then that caffeine can keep a lot of people stimulated. The brain is stimulated and they cannot fall asleep. So remember all these things to have a good night's sleep. And stress management. Again, stress is, as we all know, autoimmune diseases on the rise, cancer on the rise. Why? Because this is all what we brought on ourselves by getting too attached to what we do. And not, of course, you have to give 100%, but don't get stressed out by it because it's not going to help anything. It doesn't help your outcome, doesn't help your health. So reiterate to yourself, I'll give my best, but I'm not going to get stressed. So 10-minute walk itself brings the stress down. By the way, I always say, even weekly, if you can go maybe a trek or a hike or a forest bathing in Japan, by the way, they brought the incidences of all these diseases that I mentioned by over 30-40% down by just doing forest bathing. If you find a little foresty area near your house, just get into it and just walk. Because I believe the trees emit first of all, they emit oxygen, which is very good for us. Secondly, they also emit certain substances to protect themselves from the harmful effects of whatever is in the air that can cause problems to the leaves, etc. That also brings immunity into us, and that prevents these chronic autoimmune disorders, cancers, metabolic disorders, etc. Apparently, so forest bathing, walking, hiking, some simple treks once a week is very, very important. Then develop one hobby for stress management. Some stress, but do something out of the ordinary. You like to dance, go and dance. You like to go and do painting. Painting is excellent for the brain. Go and do pottery, any one hobby. Learn chanting, anything which is good for the brain. And now social connections are also, which are totally non-related. That's gone on top of the pyramid. Earlier, we used to say fitness, nutrition, and then sleep and social connection, right? Now, social connection has jumped all that and come to. So you need to have good friends. You need to have outlets. You need to have somebody you can talk to and go out with them, do something with them, one trek with them or one dance class with them or do something. But that is very, very important to break the monotonies and decrease stress levels. And at work itself, if you're very stressed, just do box breathing or inhalation exhalations. I think the yoga person will teach you all that. 5 minute box breathing. What is box breathing? It's like a square, right? Inhale till 5, hold for 5, exhale for 5, hold for 5. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. That's so easy to do while you're working every day. If something is stressing you out, do a box breathing or just deep inhalation, long exhalations, long, long exhalations. That itself will calm your nervous system down. That itself will stimulate the parasympathetic nerves. That causes relaxation. So boundaries, set boundaries. We have to learn to say no every day, whether it's your children or your husband or your father or your mother-in-law, anybody. But if it is coming in the way of you are having a cup of coffee in the morning and someone's demanding your attention, you have to be strong and say no. Indian mothers, we are all very giving, very sacrificing, but there's no point in your children having aged mothers who are unhealthy and who are becoming a liability to them. So keep yourself fit and healthy, and they will respect you when you're older, when they have a healthy mother to take care of rather than a sick mother or a father to take care of. Right? So all these go a long way to decrease your BP and therefore your anxiety and depression and poor immunity. So physical health is as important as mental health issues. So lots of mental health issues nowadays, especially Gen Z, we're seeing a lot of anxiety and depression. I don't know what it is. There's too much competition, or they're too much onto the screen, not having social connections, social networking. Everyone is talking to each other in the phone all day. All that is having a negative impact on their brain and mood. Uh, so next slide, please. So our lifetime 90-day implementation plan, we always say everything, you do it for 3 months, break all your habits, persist with that habit for 3 months or 90 days, and then it becomes a lifetime habit. Okay. And then it becomes natural to you. Like if you like my coffee, I never could drink without sugar, but I did it for 90 days and then I cannot drink coffee with sugar anymore. So it is as simple as that. Yes, it needs a certain amount of discipline. Yes, it needs a certain amount of self-control. But if you don't help yourself, no one will. And health, as we know, is no point in having wealth without health. So health is wealth and you need to help yourself. So don't do all of those 20 things that I told at once. Okay. You have to stack your habits. Do one by one. Take one habit. For example, this month, I'm going to focus on moving. I'm going to take 2-minute breaks every 1 hour or every 45 minutes. I'm going to move. I'm going to stand up. I'll walk and take calls. I'll walk after my lunch. I'll walk after my dinner. I'll take that staircase whenever I can. I'll keep moving, moving, moving. Don't worry about the steps. 7,000 is enough. 10,000 and all is all going slowly. But you can distribute it throughout the day because I do understand that most of us do not have that time at a stretch. So we can stretch it out throughout the day, right? Then we spoke about fuel and our nutrition. Very, very, very important. Next month, you can focus on the nutrition. Make it, see, the key is if before going to work, take small, small dabbas like I do. One small dabba with nuts, one small box with fruits, one small box with, say, makana or a baked snack. Like that, I have 2, 3 boxes. Whenever I'm hungry, I'm not reaching out to the canteen, which only serves me tea and biscuits, which is rubbish food, right? So if you want to help yourself, you pack your snacks, small, small boxes of each, so that when you're hungry, you have something to eat. And then, of course, your lunch with, like I said, with more of protein, less of carbs, and more of vegetables, a little buttermilk. Then throughout the day you're having that tender coconut, buttermilk, all of that are good food that we can have, which is affordable, which is within our reach. So have the right nutrition, focus, think about it, think about the right food, and see each food, read up about it, and then pack your lunch and your snack. And for the eyes, I already mentioned, do that. Say month two, I'm focusing on the nutrition and the eyes. I'm going to do that 20, 20, 20. I'm going to look at 20, every 20, 20 minutes, I'm going to look away for 20 seconds. And that 20 feet away, that is one other habit. Then the third month, right, we are going to focus on the sleep. And sleep, like I said, sleep hygiene, not just the number of the quality, the quantity alone doesn't matter. Number, yes, matters. 7 to 8, 9 hours matters, but the quality of sleep matters. And the quality of sleep is aided by how we conduct ourselves through the day. If we're angry and constantly agitated and constantly watching the screen, your quality of sleep is going to be poor. You're going to have disturbed sleeps and dreams and bad dreams. And the quality is very, very important to rest your mind. So that's one thing. And one stress tool, like I said, adopt one hobby, one trek, one uh, painting class, or one hunting class, or anything of your choice. But adopt one stress tool. Over the weekend, you can do it, because weekdays, I know all of you have work at home and you have to multitask everywhere. You may not have the time, but time is something that we need to control. It should not control us. So if we designate time, then we can allocate time for all the things, and I think we can manage it all. And do not forget the annual health checks, full health panel once a year, right? With all your numbers. Those numbers, if they are in black or they're highlighted, watch, go to your doctor and ask questions. What does this mean? What does that mean? What is this implication? What should I do to prevent that from getting worse? So, and start now. Do whatever it takes to. Like, for example, your hemoglobin 1AC. That is a marker for diabetes later on. So if you're in the pre-diabetic stage, it'll tell you, your results will tell you if you're nearing more than 6, for example, or 6 according to your age, there is a number. So if it's more than 6 point, you're in the pre-diabetic phase, act now. Walk a lot. Do all those hacks I told you. Eat more proteins, less carbs. Eat the protein and salad before your food. Less sugar, no added sugar. Do all of that now and you can avoid diabetes. So futuristic medicine is only going to be that. Preventative health care, no damage control, right? So we're going to work towards that. That's our concept. That's our aim. So track all your numbers and have a happy, healthy life. Right. Okay. Now I'm happy to take questions. Anyone has any doubts or any clarifications? I know it was a basic talk, but it was to reiterate what we all know so that we adapt it into our day-to-day living. Thank you. You can even read out the questions from the chat box and I can answer.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, Dr. uh, Rahana?
Rahma. Rahma.
Rahmat. Yes, Dr. Rahmat. Go ahead.
Just a second. Yeah. Ma'am, it was a very informative question.
Thank you.
Was yeah, like you gave us detailed data, as in like how many percentage of risk we'll be going through if we don't take care of ourselves. But the problem is that okay, maybe as I'm like young, and I was somewhere 25% aware of whatever you spoke in today's session. But the difficulty I find is like mentally to stick with whatever it is. For example, if I try to drink 3 liters of water or whatever it is, I okay, like initially for 3 days it's easier for me to stick to it, or take a small break between anything like my study hours or like whatever it is. But just like I cannot find it easy to move beyond the 3 days. So I so it's more like mentally again I'm like stuck somewhere. So yeah, so how do I even like stick to it?
Yeah, that's what say we were saying. No, it's not easy because we've all, inculcated certain habits which we are not able to remove. It is not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's all about awareness every day in the morning. That's the other thing I want to do. I didn't touch on meditation. See, we walk, I said, for 10, 15 minutes. Then you come back and you just sit and pause and just please do not empty your mind. Let thoughts come, but breathe and just look at the universe with gratitude and set the tone for the day. Think of yourself. What are you going to do? Let me pack whatever I have to do. Set my alarm for water break. Set my alarm for movement break in my watch. Do you have a smartwatch that can help you? Or or have a buddy, and say, hey, I'll remind you. Only for 90 days you have to make this effort. Then you'll be shocked how automatically you will start reaching for the water, how automatically you will start walking. So if you have one buddy to help you out, or a smartwatch or a phone, okay?
Oh, okay.
I know it's not easy, but we have to work at it. We have to strive. That's why only the knowledge was given today. But I'm sure with the organization, if you can reach out, they should also help their staff with all of this, to implement all of this. Each
So doing
organization, I think, should take an effort.
So doing one thing at a time will work, is it? Because I find it to be overwhelming. If I start day one to drink 3 liters and then like walk for some time and all of that, it just feels overwhelming all at a time. So
No,
starting,
no. Start with just with water and move. Movement and water. Say, this is my goal. That's all.
yeah,
Two things I'm going to do. I'm not going to do all of what she said. I will keep walking. Or say the first 1 month, I'm only going to focus on getting up and walking, getting up and walking. And little bit. Do, okay, 1 hour you forget, it doesn't matter. Once in 2 hours, you make sure you do it. Start like that. Whatever you can do, whatever you can manage, you do it. Make a start. Then you can improvise, improve, and everything on it.
okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Cortisol, when does your cortisol rise? Primarily if you do not have enough sleep, or if you are stressed. That's why I spoke on those two factors. The sleep, I think someone has to mute their. There's a lot of noise from somebody else. I think if we all mute our phones, then yeah, great. So we have to remember that cortisol rises because of stress. That's why I was telling you about stress and sleep. Sleep, stress, social connections. The three contributing factors for good cortisol levels. If you sleep well, and if you keep as much as stress free, how do you stress free? Even if there is stress, you breathe, you ensure you stimulate your parasympathetic system. Okay, your sympathetic system gets all activated when you are in a fight or flight mode, when you're anxious or when you're stressed. So you initiate the parasympathetic nervous system to come into play, and that happens only with deep breathing or calming your mind, putting some music. All of that will stimulate your parasympathetic. That will reduce the cortisol automatically. So stress relief, good sleep are the primary reasons for cortisol reduction. And yes, cortisol, if it is high, will cause all the diseases in your body. It's a steroid, right? And steroid is never good for you above a certain level. It will cause you to become insulin insensitive and therefore diabetes. It will cause your blood pressure to go up. Everything is related to cortisol. And fatty liver is primarily because of our bad eating habits. Like I told you, never in the history did our parents have all these food. Fatty liver was not so much heard of at all those days. It was not that it was undetected, but it was not there because all they ate was maximum one murku or sidai or whatever that they made at home, which is okay, and not regularly. But here the amount of cream and cheese and ice creams and whatever we have available everywhere we go, we are constantly eating that kind of food. And the fact, beyond a point, what can the liver do? It gets tired. It cannot process it. So it stores it. That causes fatty liver. And if you don't control fatty liver, it can lead on to liver disease later on in life. That's why it is important, like I kept on telling you all, we have to get into, you're young, you can prevent these things. People who are old are stuck. They already have the problem. So you guys who are young should work now towards healthy lifestyles. It is hard. It is difficult always to break habits, but you have to be conscious. You have to be aware. You have to think, ponder, and say, I'm going to develop one habit today. Like I said, you implement one at a time. Then slowly, it'll all come into place. Okay. Yeah, now fruits, actually, people on a diet, see, fruits also have a lot of sugar. Like, for example, if you take mangoes or certain, like the safe fruits are apple, pears, blueberries. Berries are all very good. Tomatoes comes under vegetable category. But certain fruits like apples and guavas and pears, papayas are very safe because, but the other fruits like banana and mangoes and anything, all the sweet fruits, grapes, all of that have a high sugar level. So, actually, you're not supposed to take it in the fasting state, though earlier we were told eat fruits in the morning or something. But because it's quick absorption, because they all have what we call fructose, right? And that's sucrose, and that gets converted eventually into glucose. Fructose, sucrose, all of that get converted into glucose, which is the one that causes havoc in the body. If it gets an overload, it to a certain amount, the insulin will process it. But beyond a certain level, if the glucose is there in the blood level, then it goes and deposits everywhere and causes problems. It turns into fat. It causes blockages and all of that. So, fruits, yes, I mean these fruits are safe. That is apples, guavas, and pears. And but like berries are all okay. But all these other fruits, I mean, empty stomach, it can cause a glycemic spike, glucose spike. So better not to take it on a fasting. Yeah. Yes, that's a good question. I didn't touch on seeds because I thought there's too much overload of information. But yes, I mean, I always all the seeds. If you can, that's what I say. Even breakfast, one small trick is if you take oats, which is not very carb laden, and take a small portion of rolled oats, because most people don't have time to. They're working. They don't have time to make their breakfast and then pack their lunch and then all of that, right? And give their children. So at least if you're eating, say, little oats, very small portion of oats, you add your blueberries, you add your flax seeds, you add your other seeds like your sunflower seeds, your flax seeds, chia seeds. It should be soaked a bit, then only properties are better. Then you make nuts into powder, you add that. If you put everything, you get a wholesome meal. Your seeds for the day are incorporated in your morning breakfast itself. And then mid-morning, take in a flask some green tea, which all has all the spices, like our kitchen. Indian kitchen is the best kitchen. Our cinnamon, our ginger powder, cinnamon powder, your bay leaf powder, moringa leaf powder, everything, whatever, turmeric powder, all of that you put in water, boil it, put a little touch of honey and lemon, and then you have a fabulous spice drink, which is so good for the system. It's anti-inflammatory in nature, and it helps against obesity and all of that. So, yes, seeds is very good to incorporate in the diet. And yeah. Yeah, see, when you freeze things, usually it doesn't, but cut fruits are best eaten fresh. Any food is best eaten fresh. But I think in terms of rice alone, these things are changing now. People are saying now the new theory is that you can leave rice overnight and eat it the next day. The glycemic load is cut by half. So for rice, that works. It is better to keep it refrigerated. Before, we used to eat fresh, because if you eat it hot off the cooker, you eat, first of all, you eat lots more portion, because when it's hot, you eat lots more. Whereas if it is in the fridge and if it is cold, and then you take it and eat it a little bit and eat, the portion itself is less. And while you refrigerate, the glycemic load is cut. So for rice, it's good. But fruits, I would advocate cut and eat. Just take the apple, eat it as it is. Don't even cut. Why don't you just wash it and take it and eat an apple at break time?
Ma'am,
Okay. Like a very good question. If you're eating salads 100%, make sure that it is organic. When we say organic, I know we don't know the credibility, but try your best to get organic, because most of these stores, good stores which sell organic fruits and vegetables, see what happens in our countries, they say that they don't spray the pesticides and chemicals, and that's why it is approved by the authorities as organic before it comes to the market. But of course, you cannot prevent the next field from spraying their plants, and then as a leachate, some of it can come and affect your that organic farm. Yes, but at least direct spraying is not there, so you've cut the risk there itself by about 50 to 60%. So still go for organic fruits and vegetables. If you're eating raw, ensure it's organic, and wash nicely, soak it. Like even fruits like grapes, cucumber and all has a lot of pesticides in their outer coating. So always make sure. Unfortunately, a lot of properties are there in the peels, but if you peel it, you're losing the property of that peel. So it's sad. On one side, you have to worry about pesticides. On one side, if you peel and eat, you're losing the benefits of the peel. So it's ideal to go organic and wash nicely before you eat it with the peel, ideally.
ma'am, can
Yeah.
am I audible, ma'am?
Yes. I
Ma'am,
can.
this morning when I opened Instagram, I just came across a research paper, quoting a research paper saying that sugar cravings are actually an excellent sign for like youth and health, it seems. And once the sugar cravings decline, I think the paper said it declines by with age, but it just because I stopped craving for sugar for a long time, and then it just said that it's like a loss of pleasure or something if you stop craving for sugar. So how do you see that?
Please check
So,
the authenticity of that. There's no medical backing in that statement at all. It is nothing. I mean, sugar craving is natural. See, when we are stressed, when we eat something sweet, we feel good, we want to eat it. That's all. Okay? It's simple. But how to control that mind when you're stressed without reaching for that sugar is your challenge. Okay. But it is natural because something sweet in the mouth we all love. And sweet is addictive. When you have one sweet, that sweet, it sends a signal to the brain asking for more. So you keep eating more and more. So always, even in my house, sometimes I love Mysore pak. I cut it into 10 pieces. One Mysore pak. I'll make slivers. So, when you're really wanting the sweet, take that one piece. So your mind is calmed. Okay, I've eaten the sweet, but when you're stressed and you want to eat something, at least you've eaten only that little bit. Even if you go for the second, you've eaten only two pieces of one full Mysore pak. So that's how you trick your mind. It's all
Yeah.
about a mind game.
Thank you, ma'am.
Well, okay. Gut is in good condition. You won't believe, Vishnupriya, now the metabolic conferences and summits that are happening all over the world, they are doing what is called gut microbiome mapping. That is the only way you'll know exactly. That is futuristic. It's coming. It's already there in the West. It's coming now in all these longevity meets and everything, that they are going to map your microbiome. See, how will you know as an individual right now is you are eating well and your bowels are normal. They are not watery. They are not mucousy. They're not like you're eating and almost every day, once a day you're going and it's a nice formed stool. That is the main indicator as an individual. It's a surface indicator that your gut is healthy. Okay? Pleasure. Mm. How to, but the whole idea in jogging is also you will be a little exhausted, but check your numbers first. By the way, one important thing, I'm glad you brought this up, is to check your vitamin D levels. The number of people in India that are vitamin D deficient is very, very, very high. Why? Because we'll say we are a sunny country, we have sun, okay, all of us walk with fully clothed, right? Only our face is exposed and our hands. So the absorption of vitamin D from the sun is minuscule, not at all enough vitamin D levels. So ideally, if you want to get your vitamin D the natural way, we are supposed to go in a bathing suit in the terrace, stand for an hour. That too, when the sun rays fall at a particular angle and hit the earth's surface where absorption of the skin is good, that is, say, at about between 10 and 2. After that, the rays alter and the absorption is not good. So, a lot of technicalities in that. So, only then you get your quota of vitamin D. So, that is not humanly possible. How many of us can go and do all of that? So, we have to have supplements. Why? Because Indian food nowhere is fortified with vitamin D, and you don't get it through diet. Okay, salmon, fish to some extent, very minimal. But so vitamin D, check your levels. If that is low, you will be unusually exhausted. Not the normal mild tiredness. Actually, after a jog, your adrenal is up, your endorphins in your brain is high. You should feel very happy and high, actually. But if you're feeling very exhausted, please check your vitamin D. Please check your hemoglobin. If that is low, then and your vitamin B12. These three, if they're low, it can make you exhausted. And vitamin D will be the culprit. Please check it. I think Dr. Sriparna question.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Good
Uh,
evening.
I have a
Hmm.
question that if we delay our periods, then can it affect our health in any way? Like in foreign countries nowadays, also they take periods thrice or four times in a year because of the time or the work pressure they have. But in our country, I think there is a myth that we have to clear the cycle regularly. But does it really have any consequences on our health, or weight gain or weight loss or anything like that? Or
You mean if you
the
take the pill?
yes, with
Yeah.
pill if we delay our periods.
Yeah. See, it's always good not to interfere with the hormonal profile of the body whenever you can. But yes, there is a wedding, I am getting married. That is the only time I tell people, even temple, I say, go postpone your temple visit. Why are you hampering or with your tampering with your hormonal system? Because it is dysregulating the system. Of course, taking it once in a while is not harmful. Nothing is going to happen. But again, if you notice, the period cycle for the next 3, 4 cycles will be altered. It'll come haywire, it'll come. So you have messed about with it. So if you can, unless it is really life and death matter, you're getting married and you have to postpone it, then okay. But other times, I always say try not to take it if you can.
All right, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. I hope we all see the futuristic 30 years from now. We all adopt all this. And when we're 60, you feel you're happy you've adopted all these practices. So it's all for the future. Good luck. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
இல்ல இல்ல straight தான்